Welcome to Concept with Justin. Picture the moment you approach the house. Rather than a flat slab of concrete, the path is a gentle curve of pale, textured pavers set in wide joints of creeping thyme, chamomile, or moss. Every footstep releases a faint citrus or herbal note, and the low plants soften the hard edge of stone. Either side of the path, a sequence of beds and pots march in a loose rhythm, tall standards and matching pots flanking the door, mid-height flowering perennials in layered beds, and a neat strip of soft, fine-bladed lawn close to the threshold for bare feet and sudden pauses. The descriptive image is staged arrival. The benefit is psychological. A composed threshold cues the body to slow, converts arrival into a small ritual, and immediately lowers perceived heat through reflective paving and evaporative plantings. Move inward in your imagination to the idea of layered rooms. The front yard should read as a series of purposeful spaces rather than one flat plane. Closest to the house, allow a narrow lawn ribbon, a resilient variety chosen to suit your climate, to give a soft, cool surface and a place for kids to pause. In front of that, a mid-layer of perennial beds provides seasonal color and pollinator value, and the street edge is treated with containers, low hedges, and vertical elements that present a composed face to passers-by while maintaining sight lines. This arrangement creates perceived depth and multiple uses at once. The benefit is functional variety and scale. Layered zones create intimacy and visual depth in a small footprint, allowing play, display, and privacy without sacrificing access. Think about trees and canopy next, because these are the largest levers for cooling. Imagine planting 1 or 2 small stature trees, perhaps an ornamental pear, a small maple, or a pleached hornbeam, placed to cast dappled shade over the lawn and path during the heat of day. In tighter sites, a large specimen in a deep container or a pleached tree on a compact root system will lift the canopy without disturbing foundations. The descriptive image is a soft green ceiling. The benefit is dramatic. Trees intercept solar radiation, provide evaporative cooling, and reduce heat gain on facades, lowering indoor temperatures and making outdoor time more tolerable. Now visualize the planting structure within beds, a rhythm of form and texture organized for calm. Use repetition, drifts of lavender, bands of nepeta, repeated clumps of ornamental grasses, to create unity. Mix coarse, glossy leaves closer to touch points, such as hostas and phormiums, with fine-textured grasses and perennials that quiver in the breeze. Choose colors and foliage tones that work together. Silver-leaved plants and cool blues will make the space feel fresher, while restrained warm accents in protected corners add comfort in cooler months. The descriptive image is a textural orchestra. The benefit is visual clarity and low maintenance. Repetition simplifies planting lists, makes watering and pruning predictable, and creates restful sightlines that draw the eye along the garden rather than overwhelming it. Containers deserve a special role because they bring immediacy and flexibility. Imagine a trio of statement pots near the door, a tall, rusted corten cylinder with an architectural palm or yucca, a mid-height glazed pot with a compact olive or bay, and a shallow trough of thyme and sedums that spills onto the paving. Scatter additional pots along the path and at the curb to provide seasonal color, and to let you experiment with edibles or showy annuals. The image is portable sculpture. The benefit is instant impact and adaptability. Containers enable you to adjust scale, move plants for shelter or sun, and test new species without reworking beds. Scent should be choreographed to create moments. Plant lemon, thyme, or chamomile in paving joints, place rosemary as a clipped standard at the entry, and train jasmine or honeysuckle on a trellis close to a sitting spot so evenings are perfumed. These fragrant anchors turn small acts like fetching the mail or putting out the bins into tiny rituals, and scent strengthens memory and reduces stress. The descriptive image is olfactory punctuation. The benefit is emotional nourishment. Scent ties the garden to daily rituals, making the space feel intimate and habit-forming. Add water for another layer of cooling and sound. Even a modest recirculating fountain, a shallow bowl with a soft bubbler tucked into a planting bed or a small urn near the bench, produces evaporation and a gentle acoustic veil that masks distant street noise. For a bolder statement, consider a narrow reflecting pool or a rill that runs along a bed edge, catching light and cooling the air above it. Also imagine birds visiting the basin, adding movement and life. The image is aquatic calm. The benefit is multisensory cooling and biodiversity. Water cools locally, provides habitat, and creates a soundscape that encourages lingering. Surfaces and paving decisions are crucial for comfort and performance. Select pale or light-toned materials for primary walking surfaces to reflect rather than absorb heat. Use permeable pavers or gravel for secondary paths to allow rain to infiltrate and nourish planting. Timber decks at the door and near seating give warmth underfoot and encourage barefoot use, while decomposed granite or compacted grit provides a forgiving, permeable surface for play. Plant wide joints with moss or ground cover to soften edges. The image is tactile groundwork. The benefit is thermal comfort and hydrological sense. Reflective, permeable surfaces reduce local heat islands, allow stormwater infiltration, and feel pleasant to walk on. Lawns can be environmentally responsible and lovely when chosen for the site. Picture a narrow turf strip planted with a fine-bladed, drought-tolerant mix, dwarf fescue or zoysia in warmer regions, mown to a short height to make it dense and resilient. For low-use fronts, consider moss turf or mixed-edge/grass lawns that require less water and mowing. Another option is artificial turf of high quality where natural grass is impractical, but prioritize natural solutions when possible. The image is green carpet. The benefit is cooling, soft touch, and play value. Turf lowers surface temperature, provides a cool place to sit, and reads as a soft, domestic surface that anchors the planting beds. Irrigation and water management need to be smart and invisible. Imagine a zone drip irrigation system for beds and pots, with a separate zone for the lawn. Include a moisture sensor to avoid watering after rain, and capture roof runoff in a modest rain barrel that feeds drip lines. Design planted swales or infiltration strips at edges so stormwater slowly recharges soils. The image is efficient plumbing. The benefit is resource savings and plant health. Targeted irrigation reduces water waste, encourages deeper roots, and lowers maintenance time. Plant selection should balance beauty, robustness, and ecological value. Favor evergreen structure, boxwood, dwarf laurels, small hollies, for winter presents, and intersperse nectar-rich perennials like salvias, echinacea, and nepeta to feed pollinators. Include grasses for autumn movement and seed heads for winter interest. Choose species with manageable litter and non-invasive root systems near paving. Also include edibles, dwarf citrus in pots, a narrow herb bed by the door, so the front yard yields both scent and flavor. The image is layered function. The benefit is continuous value. Diverse plantings create year-round interest, invite wildlife, and reward daily interaction. Materials should age gracefully to give the garden a lived-in patina. Choose durable timbers that weather attractively, natural stone that develops character, and metals like corten or bronze that develop desirable finishes. Use outdoor fabrics with UV resistance and removable covers for washing. The image is mature materials. The benefit is longevity and authenticity. Materials that weather well reduce replacement cycles and make the yard feel cherished rather than newly staged. Maintenance rhythms keep the Oasis effortless. Envision a weekly 20 to 30 minute tidy to sweep leaves, deadhead, and check irrigation, monthly checks for stakes, mulch levels and pests, and 2 seasonal sessions for pruning, dividing perennials and top-dressing soil. Keep a small tool caddy near the door with secateurs, twine and gloves so light tasks are quick and habitual. The image is easy stewardship. The benefit is sustainable beauty. Short, regular efforts outperform occasional marathon maintenance and keep the garden inviting. Link multiple functions into single elements for elegant efficiency. A bench with internal storage conceals hoses and cushions. A low wall becomes a planting edge and informal seating. A rain garden doubles as an attractive planted feature and stormwater filter. Multi-use design saves space and simplifies life. The image is clever economy. The benefit is practical grace. Each element works harder, giving more value within a limited footprint. Avoid common pitfalls by choosing resilient, site-appropriate plants and placing them intelligently. Don't crowd large root trees close to foundations. Avoid fruit-heavy species over paths. Be mindful of neighbor sidelines when planting tall specimens. Test unfamiliar species in pots first, and keep a restrained palette to avoid visual clutter. The image is cautious craft. The benefit is fewer retrofits and a longer-lived garden. Use color and form to influence perceived climate. Cool-toned foliage, blue-greens and silvers, paired with pale paving gives a visually cooler effect, while warm-toned flowers and sheltered pockets create cozy corners for cooler months. Repeat a limited palette across pots and cushions to keep cohesion. The image is chromatic climate design. The benefit is immediate comfort, color, and tone alter perception even before measurable cooling occurs.